Mark Wahlberg learns that you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. The Gambler, directed by Rupert Wyatt, starring Mark Wahlberg as Jim Bennett. He is an associate college professor at a university or college where he teaches literature and English and creative writing to students. He has lost his passion for it though. He has lost his passion for his own writing as well, because he once wrote a novel, but now his passion is no longer into writing because he's in over his head in debt from gambling. He likes to play 21 blackjack at the casinos and roulette, and he wastes money that he doesn't even really have. He gets money from these bookies that will break every bone in his body or take everything he has if he doesn't give him the money back eventually. And Jim Bennett gets a love interest in this movie, who is a waitress at the casino, played by Brie Larson, who also happens to be a student in his class. Gee, isn't that so cliche? Jessica Lange plays Jim Bennett's mom, who's pretty good in the movie, and then you have John Goodman playing one of the bookies in the film, who loans Jim Bennett some money for his gambling debt. And this movie is basically predictable, dull, and forgettable. There's really nothing memorable about this movie at all. There is no chemistry at all between Brie Larson and Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg's acting is pretty good in this movie, but that's pretty much it. That is probably the only good thing about this movie. I mean, Brie Larson's performance consists mostly of staring. There's not much to her performance at all. And John Goodman is actually the best part of the whole movie. The banter between John Goodman and Mark Wahlberg are the best parts of this whole movie. The rest of this movie is really forgettable. Jessica Lange is good, but she's basically playing her usual standard performance. And there's really just not much to this movie. This movie is no different than other movies that Mark Wahlberg does, usually around this time of year. Usually he does these kinds of movies in January, but this time he does this kind of movie in December, which is basically a very forgettable movie. He did a very forgettable movie with Broken City and Contraband. Both of those movies were forgettable, and so is this movie. It is just so dull and predictable. I could predict when he was going to win gambling, and I could predict when he was going to lose gambling. And really, there was just nothing to this movie. Overall, this movie's going to get a D. It's not one of the worst movies of the year, but it's not worth seeing at all either.